error when we knew you by your group.
Oh, you.
It was only him who did it, now it's you and you.
And you, and you.
What's that Yui in the hoopty, not the coop?
Not the cool.
There's a chance to squash it before someone shoots when you're the keeper of the zoo. We grew up in the zoo. That's why you behave like you do. Because you came about the zoo. Hardly hear him talking about all his close ties. Little Chauncey, you can spot him by his closed eyes. Don't underestimate him just because he's 4 or 5. From Staten Island, but he took a lot of boat rides. Before you saw Giuseppe shoes, Air Ones for all sweatsuits. That ain't Muslim oil, baby, that's 2 G's worth of wet juice. Whole rank of McCormick might be gone, so better get on it. When you make the purchase and nude off, it'll make the heat and now born dormant. And they riding around with his parole picture, Patrick and his informants, yelling his name out the paddy wagon. Time to miss his voted. Life too real to report it, it was just too heavy to ignore it. Thought the best way to endure it was to go to days attic, record it. Blasting it out the black Taurus. All of his bitches gorgeous. All of their ass hips bulbous. All of the smart, hit with the cordless. Washington with the rawness. Epic nights at the Roxy. Until they came with the lock. He handled the pain before he knew about an oxy. From the era when we knew you, but
rather have money. They rather have the capital. They rather actually sit on money in this economy because of the levels of uncertainty. The levels of uncertainty, or what one would call unpredictability as well, derives from so much opportunity, so much being provided, being presented to the fingertips, especially of Americans, that, also aligned with this phrase, this slogan saying, fail forward, I believe is how they word it, which is just ridiculous from my experience. Now, that actually may work for others. However, for me, during this exact time right now, that phrase is ridiculous because it encourages one to go on whims. It encourages one to be an opportunist. And I'm not saying that being an opportunist is the worst thing. However, if you take all opportunities presented to you, how can you define yourself? How can you find yourself in that? You know what I mean? And does it even really matter? Perhaps I'm wrong to even have said that from approach of integrity or whatever you want to call it. You know, there's maybe I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? But for me to see these uncertainties and unpredictability with the encouragement and the advertising of, yeah, just go out there and do it, fear nothing and yada, yada, yada. I'm skeptical of that. So what I'm saying is I agree with Gary Vee and Mark Cuban, whichever one of them said that, even if both of them said that, I agree with them. So let me add on to how women apply to this. I was going to wait to do this video too, but I'm doing it now because I'm going to blog it anyway. I'm blogging the next Moon and Scorpio blog because I feel like I can write more passionately about the whole totality of what I'm going to say. Is going to be technical, so I may be a little bit all over the place right now, but I'm going to try to drill it home as best as I possibly can. I waited for Leo season to be over to even talk about this because I wanted to see where everyone's value system was at, well, at least the people who are around me or that I can visibly see or, be in touch with, and see where my values lie as well and where I get the upper hand at and where I'm vulnerable at in accordance to that. So now we have Virgo season and it's like, okay, clean up the excess mess. It's like all of that grandstanding stuff and everything. I just feel like I'm great inwardly. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have to do all of the shenanigans, the dance and the song and the dance stuff. You know what I'm saying? But again, perhaps I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Perhaps that is what makes everyone get along and makes everyone do what they do and keep the economy growing, flowing, whatever the case may be. That's your perception. That's your perception. But again, for me, it's just like, it's not only distasteful, it's off-putting when you identify the folly in it, when you identify how much it just doesn't matter in the bigger picture, how much, no, I can't say that. Let me rephrase that. It matters in the bigger picture, but how much it doesn't matter to the impactful and significant qualities of life. Like, it just takes so much away from it. I just walked past a club, to be real with you. It just got out. The club got out. It looked like, what is that, Walking Dead? One of those shows. Like, it really looked like zombies were out there. And it's like, oh, but like, they didn't even see me walk by. It's like 20 people outside. Maybe 2 of them seen me. You know what I mean? Everyone else just did not see me because they were so high and they were so drunk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have did anything. I could have been one of those shooters. And yeah, I'm going to say that. I don't really care about the algorithms right here. Could have been one of those mass shooter guys, right? And took everybody out. They would have been none the wiser. They didn't even see me. So that, and being in the business that I'm in, that's kind of like my competition though, right? It's like, how could you talk about that? You're in the entertainment industry to the extent that I am. And it's just like, because I can, you know what I'm saying? Because I can, like, but it goes even more to say, let me get back. Let me see. I'm already going so far off, right? Let me get back to how women apply to this. I remember not too long ago. Well, it was kind of long ago, about a decade ago when I first started going to school, right? This is because I need to bring the punchline in of why I feel I'm being built as a universal soldier, as the ultimate warrior type person now, because I reflect on my experiences. So I remember when I first got into college and, I needed a loan. I needed to get a loan. So the institution reached out to me and said, well, you can't cover all of the expenses on your own. You're going to need a loan. And if you get a loan, we're going to need you to get a co-signer. So I'm like, co-signer? What the fuck you mean? So there's like, we got to get your mother or whatever the case may be. I said, I'm not putting my mother on the line for some shit that I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, that's not going to happen. Plus, I don't live with my mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they was like, okay, how about your girlfriend? Now, I was seeing a girl at the time. She was a cute girl, too. I was seeing a girl at the time, and I'm like, and she had good credit. So I'm like, that could work. Like, she could definitely get the cosign or whatever the case may be, right? But then I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, nah. Like, because I felt I was coerced. I looked at it as a coercion, which it is. So I say that to say this. The difference between patriarch and matriarch is the male dominance part of society understands that when they work for something with such intense focus and they develop these programs and things that are constructed that we work within, structures is really what I'm talking about, structure, organization, and the adherence to it, then they determine that women will fall along the lines with that and find those men because they're all so powerful. It's kind of like you get the order, the vagina that you want for the day because you're that powerful. I get the dynamic. You may be disgusted with what I'm saying, but just pay attention because there's another side to it too. There's also the matriarch side, which is where the women, or the coven, I like to call them, right? But the women really run things. And it's based upon, there's more to life than just being focused on work and structure. Have a little fun, live a little, let your hair down, be wild a bit, go out and enjoy the wilds of life, experience the unknown and stuff like that, right? So it's like work-life balance if you look at it in a societal type fucking blog somewhere that you'll read. They might bring that up in that type of way, but I'm going in depth with it. So that's what a matriarch is. But what happens in a matriarch is you leave yourself open to the dominance of another male patriarch, right? So if it doesn't exist in your immediate neighborhood or nation, it's going to exist in another neighborhood or nation where men congregate to be powerful. And it probably comes from a story that they once heard that says, this tribe or this village or this state, city, nation was taken over by another. You understand what I'm saying? So somewhere along on this earth, that conglomerate is going to be formed. So this is the weakness of a matriarch, because when they come and they do what they do, what do? They take the women, they rape the women, they might even kill some children. You know what I'm saying? But they definitely are killing the men. They're going to go to war with the men, and if the men are unsuspecting, if the men are not prepared, then they get slaughtered, right? And then the women get captured, they get enslaved and become part of another empire entity. You could read the books, it's there. I'm not making this stuff up to discourage or discredit matriarchs either. I think both of them play a substantial role in society. I just want to mention that real quick. But when we get to the matriarch, right, back to my coercion, that was a matriarch production. You know what I'm saying? First, it's ask your mom. What? Ask my mom? What am I? I'm still a mama's boy? I'm not asking my mom. You know what I'm saying? And when you look at it from a patriarch view, you would figure that patriarch goes along the lines with the elite, goes along the line with wealthy families and stuff like that, right? So from their perspective, they're probably looking at it like, well, your mom and dad should have the finances to put you through college anyway. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, from my story, you can hear that wasn't the case. So we have things like federal funding and subsidies and stuff like that. If we didn't, and I'm gonna tell you like this, right? For the people who are listening, and you're tired of the welfare state and all that. Like, I understand. Trust me, I understand. If it's eradicated at this very moment, there's going to be an all-out war, So I think that's the only reason why it hasn't been done yet. There's been a government shutdown and stuff just to like hint at it and what it could be like. But the real reason why it didn't stay, because there will be a war like you have not ever seen before in your life. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm so ready for that type of war. And I may not be totally ready, but I'm doomsday prepping now. And I looked at myself before like, nah, you can't be a doomsday prepper, dude. Like, you're too optimistic for that. And it's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. The more that my dreams start to come into fruition as gradually as they do, the more realist I become. The more so here I am seeing the realities of things, and I'm like, okay, that's one outlet for the war to break out. Eradicate government relief. So, but that's how the patriarch will look at it, right? And then the matriarch is like, take it easy on the kids, take it easy on the boys, take it easy on the guys. And then the elite, the patriarch, the dominant part of society, or that part of society rather, because you can't even totally call them dominant, because the matriarch is very powerful as well. But, the matriarch will look at it like, they understand, the patriarch understands, well, the matriarch kind of has a point. Why? Because we can take advantage of what they do. They just want to produce babies and look at them and have fun and have their role in society. Women, right? Your mother won't tell you this. Your grandmother won't tell you this. They'll keep these secrets from you all of your life. Men, I'm really speaking to y'all. The 30% of you on this channel, this is a MGTOW video. I really need y'all to listen to this. You could, if it doesn't apply, let it fly. But yeah. They look at it like, oh yeah, these women, they want to be a part of society, and they want to use their baby making abilities to even hold that over our head to say, well, look, we'll close our coochies and nothing, you can't be in power after that. You know what I'm saying? And so the male patriarch dominant society says, okay, well, we're going to take advantage of this. We're going to exploit that fact. So they say, okay, we're going to make and design more structures and programs and stuff. So when they have those babies will come work for us in some type of way. And then you have your hard-lined patriarchs who say, I don't care how many babies they make. And if they make more babies, we're just going to slaughter them. The more babies they make, the more babies we're going to slaughter, because I don't deal with whatever, filth or, whatever word terminology that they use to describe poor people who don't have access to the resources that they do, right? So with the matriarch, again, back to my situation, my scenario, it's like, oh yeah, call your mom and get your mom to co-sign on this deal that we're not 100% sure is going to fall through or not, right? Because what a loan is a pay advance scheme, right? And I'm studying pay advance schemes right now because I'm doing something in the scholastic world. And a pay advance scheme is basically when someone it's an illegal act, come to find out. It's when someone gives you something or nothing. Gives you something, and in return they get a little bit back or totally nothing, right? This is done on internet or whatever the case may be. That's where a lot of internet fraud resides and stuff like that. So when I thought about it in the bigger scope of things, I said, well, isn't that a loan? Like, when you think about it, right? And I mean a loan for anything, right? Like, you get a loan, you get approved for a loan today, right? For a home. Now, the person giving the loan is thinking that you're going to pay them back $550,000, right? Well, let's say that doesn't happen in a lot of cases. That does not happen, right? It's like, oh, okay, well, that was a pay advance scheme. It's the same thing. But, however, there's two tales of the story. It's like, okay, when it favors us, it's not a crime. When it doesn't favor us, it's a crime, right? So it's like a big slap in the face, right? So what I'm saying is, they make this workforce, right? They create this workforce, and the matriarch's babies are put out there, and it's just like, yeah, get inside of this deal with your mom, because this is really the matriarch being exploited like we planned to do from the beginning. And then, if the education works for you, you get what you want out of it, fantastic, right? But if you don't, you're stuck with debt for the rest of your lives, and your mother is stuck with it, and that's the end of any type of potential legacy that you ever would have had. If your mom has any grandkids, forget about it. Like, y'all are fucking done. You know what I'm saying? But they don't say that in the fine print. Not even the fine print. They don't say that in the loan, right? So I'm like, nah. And they say, oh, get your girl. And it's just like, nah, I'm not asking that broad for nothing either. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this on my own, or it's not being done. To this day, don't ask me how I negotiated my way into getting it done alone. You know what I'm saying? But I got it done alone. I had no one co-sign on my loan. So what I'm saying is this: it's already set up for the man to be dependent on the woman. That's the first point, or the next point that I'm making, rather. It's that it's set up for the man to be dependent on a woman no matter what. And this is an exploit of the matriarch, but it's funded, even financed and supported and encouraged by the patriarch as well. Not all of the patriarch, but a great deal of them, because the stuff that they don't want to do can be done by the people who enlist in their programs, right? So when a man decides to not participate in that matriarch part of society, he is then ostracized in a sense. He is then outed, because this man develops himself to be one who wants to stand alone and does not trust either side, the patriarch or the matriarch, because he understands that he's not powerful and wealthy enough, at least in that moment, in such a scenario as mine, to be part of the patriarch. And at the same time, he's not conditioned, he's not conforming to be associated with the matriarch, even when it comes down to being with his own mother. Even when it comes down to being with his own girl, the woman he's sleeping with. And you may say, well, why? Why is life so difficult for you? Like, why you gotta be such a Pisces, maybe? Like, there's probably all types of things floating through your mind, right? And I'm just like, yo, listen to me. Just listen to me. Hold on. Right? I will not allow a woman to be able to say, half of that loan is mine. Half of the reason why you have that career is mine. Who co-signed on it for you? This is what women love to do. They love to do it. I've been in enough relationships to know. They also will be the type to say, well, you messed up that. Let's say a woman could be there when you're going through things that kind of like force you to put education down. So let's use the education loan scenario as an example. Like, let's say I'm in a situation that's trying at home, living with my girl, right? I'm going to get to that in a minute too. Living with my girl, and I'm like, babe, I got to drop out of school because this is getting too hectic around here and we got to pay some bills. She might be with it. I'm just be like, yo, don't worry about the loan. We'll pay it back as we go along. She goes along with it. Next thing you know, even that doesn't work out the way you planned. Now she's down your throat about it. The loan was that if I didn't sign off for this, and now, you're a bum, you're a loser, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. Hold up, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Let's rewind time a little bit. Because if we rewind time and I didn't fuck with you like that, then we wouldn't even be having this conversation now, would we? You wouldn't even have no feeling of importance, right? Because women thrive in chaos. Women love it, man, when they're able to say stuff like that to men. But the contrary to that, the flip side to that is when you don't participate in the matriarch, they're left to their own devices. This is where you find women being very lonely, and it's happening all over the world right now. You find them being very lonely, and they talking about why they can't find a man, and all of the men are acting like this, or all of the men are hanging out with their homeboys wearing skirts, and no real man is gonna stretch the pussy out, and night out with the girls. And I'm intuitive enough to know what night out with the girls consists of these days, more than before. You know what I'm saying? Y'all are playing with each other. Like, I know women who actually sleep with women for pleasure, but sleep with men for money. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about, my realistic viewpoints of life taking over the more that my dreams come into fruition. Like, it's okay, the ideals are melting away because my reality is setting in, and it's just like, okay, it is what it is. But ladies, let's not make it something that it's not, especially when dealing with me. So my next point, strong point to make is, you find yourself as like this person who is, should I say, ostracized from the Garden of Life, the Garden of Eden, whatever they called it, to use like it as an analogy, because it's like both sides are looking at you like, oh, you don't want to play ball. So I guess in politics they call them independents. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they don't want to play ball. They want to be on an island to themselves. And it's like, when you find yourself becoming more capable, then you have no alternative. It's inevitable but to look at yourself as an island on your own. Your skill level is through the roof. And then it makes you question education and everything, and especially education, because it's like, well, why did y'all set me up? Because y'all taught me all of this great stuff, by the way. Like, people could say education is a sham if you want. I play both sides of the fence. Experience as a teacher, education as a teacher. Great stuff learned in higher education. When you learn all of this stuff, you find yourself isolated. Like Steve Jobs, I heard, could only talk to 6 people at the height of his career. You may say, well, why is that? And it's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like the indigo children. It's just like when you got it, you can't even talk to people regularly no more. You can't, you just can't do it. And I find myself torn a lot lately because I'm accessible. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's through Instagram, whether it's through YouTube, whether it's through my own phone, whatever messenger app that I'm using, I'm accessible. And it's just like, sometimes people are just saying, hey, hi, how are you doing? And it's like, I despise small talk. If we're talking about astrology, that's cool. Even that gets taxing after a while, because it's like, some people expect free readings, and then it's just like, not only that, right? People will absorb the knowledge and the information that I produce for free, by the way, and just not tap into it, not apply it to their own lives, and not understand it to the point where they should. Like, they'll listen to it, they'll understand it, but not to the point of application. And then you got to question that. More knowledge, more education being put out there for free. And this is apart from higher education, but it's just like people let it go through one ear and out the other. They just needed something to tap on YouTube. You know what I mean? Which brings me to another point. The internet, all of this availability, all this accessibility, gets people dwindling away from the structure, which is good. However, there is negatives to it as well. The negatives to it is everyone's going wow. Everyone's being segmented. It used to be coerced so tightly that it's church state. You work somewhere in your community and you go home, you got to be a part of your family and everything. Now, no. Government relief has increased. The opportunity to talk and communicate has increased. Even the gender roles separation has increased. So you find yourself in a world where, women are saying, all women unite. I can't work with you because you're a guy. You're in the industry of exploiting women. You shouldn't even be there. We can take care of ourselves. We know what to do with our own bodies. You can't tell us what to do. We know what to do. You're not a woman and you shouldn't even be here. And then you got guys on the other end who, if you're not doing something like hunters and gatherers, that's like the stupidest shit I ever heard in the world too, by the way. I just want to throw this in there because you got your guys out here who's like, dude, you're not going to the football game? To the football game. You think I want to like watch men bend over behind other men in tights and grab balls from under their nut sacks? Like, what world? What? And this is considered manly. Like, I should be there, you're saying, shoving hot dogs in the shapes of penises inside of my mouth for $9. This is what is being advertised to me as manly. Does the patriarch think this at the same time, or they're just going with the whole Coliseum thing, keep them busy, keep the eyes over there type thing, right? But this is the divide that's going on, and when you become educated to the point where you have your own skill set, you have your own train of thought, and you don't align with any of these things, it's just like, okay, I don't need to be talking to y'all either then, because obviously we don't mesh, we don't click, and the attempt to want to be a part of what they're doing just to feel like you're doing something is wrong. Like, so my point is, when you make it to this point of you're doing your own thing and you're self-validating, just stay there. It's gonna be some of the like I'm experiencing some of the toughest times in my life now because of having higher education, because of doing my own thing that doesn't entail the dependency of others. Like, I'm even dependent on, I will say interdependent, let me rephrase that, interdependent on external stakeholders. I believe all businesses are to a degree. And that's more than my internal stakeholders. But look at how I'm talking. Stakeholders. That means that I'm associated with a business. That means that I can't have regular conversations with people because they just don't get it, or they don't want to. You know what I mean? Or they don't want to. So what makes this more interesting is, I just had an online conversation with a couple of ladies, and it was pretty dope. What she said was, why is there this vibe for there to be this focal point, or this one person or one entity put on a pedestal to be the representative of knowledge, philosophy, entertainment, whatever business industry it is. And like, why is it this one entity that has to be over all of the rest of each other and everything? And I'm like, and she went even further to say, this is something that we inherited. Like, this is not even something that she feels we were naturally born with. And I agreed. And I said, for us in the United States, we're a corporation. So we're raised in competition. And competition only comes from the denial of understanding that we all have different perceptions. But in the end, it's all Gestalt theory. So we segment from that, we divide from that, and we say, okay, we divide from observing, or what we're born into sometimes too. Like, you can be born into something and you don't accept the rituals, you don't like the rituals. Like I said, you're thinking for yourself and stuff. So you don't adhere to any of that stuff. You don't like their ceremonies and stuff. So you segregate and you start developing your own, start making your own art. And what happens there though is, the more you become your own tribe, you can separate from your own tribe, come into your own new tribe and develop a new tribe, and then you attract people to your tribe, and then the next thing you know, your old tribe is looking at you like, not as this is success for you, not as this is a branch off from my tribe. Look at them make something of themselves. It's in most cases, it's like, oh, I birthed you. You know what I'm saying? Or I made you. How dare you go against me or be apart from me? You know what I'm saying? It's like families who lose that one or two children to the streets or to hip hop or whatever, you name it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. And it's just like, you wanted them to be a lawyer and they ended up being a liberal artist or something. And it's just like, you're supposed to carry on family tradition. It's like, fuck you, mom. You know what I mean? And it's like, again, it's perception, the avoidance of understanding that people's perception is different. And not only that, but that knowing that one's perception is different and its truth to them is what validates them as a human being, as an individual, and then extensively their collective tribe, right? Because whenever people fall along the lines with the tribes, they share the same ideals. They share the same, like Republican, Democrat, that's just too little. It's just Republican, Democrat, that's all the choices you got. I'm talking 12 tribe stuff. I'm talking about Aries through Pisces when I speak about it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's that lack of understanding that, and then, you know, when egos get involved, it's like, oh yeah, well, finance the most stupid of the egotistical and put them on a pedestal. Because then everyone, well, not everyone, but those who are more docile will fall along the lines of that. They will even pay to be part of that. And this is why I'm holding on to my money. This is why I agree with Gary Vee. This is why I agree with Mark Cuban to just hold on to my money, just sit on my money and doomsday prep, because, well, this is just not totally MGTOW, but it is though, men, because like I said, right? Women are, you know, and this is not all you women, but women are doing this. Oh, women, we are united all across the world, right? All right, let them go. Let them go. And if that's not the case, if they find themselves not being able to be structured no more, or they can't put it together, they don't know how they're going to deal with this day and that day, and they don't need to be sleeping with us no more and stuff like that, let them go. Let them experience everything that comes with that, right? The more you chase after that, guys, to like try to piece that back together or make the logic more Christian again. Remember, we just came out of a coercion. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it was very streamlined. It was very church state. Now it's open. It's open season. It's all open for the taking, right? Even those who are participating in their homosexuality activities, let them go. Let them go. Let them experience everything that comes with that. You know what I'm saying? Sure, if they attack you, it won't be considered a hate crime. But if you attack them, it will be. Still, let them go. Let them go do what they do. Because while they are under the guise of freedom, which we all are, that freedom is going to come with a sense of security that wasn't even present in the Industrial Revolution, right? It was like, chick, you stay home, cook the meals, make the children while I go to work. Like, that was secure on a small scale. Security now is what I'm talking about, sitting on your money. Like, I got some money right now. And this is another thing, right? Like, and I don't mean like I'm rich, but then again, I am rich because of my skill set. So let me tell you, right? I was hesitant on going back to school just now, right? Because when I wanted to go, there was some discrepancies with the paperwork and stuff like that. And they was like, oh, well, this person messed the paperwork up. They didn't turn it in early enough. So you got to wait till next semester. Then when the next semester came, something else messed up. They messed up again. And so I'm just like, by the time the next semester came around and they called me, and I'm just like, well, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you mean? It's just like, you know, not for nothing, I don't need the loans anymore. Like, I'm making money now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then you got to think about this in the bigger scope of things. Like, a real political discussion right now is, you know, what's up with those college students? Are they going to be able to make money? You know what I'm saying? When they getting all this education and stuff, they taking on these loans, will they be able to make money? So me being out of school, I finally got for a significant amount of time, I finally got the ability to see how will I be able to hold on and operate without the higher education being plugged into my brain, at least from 30 to 40 hours a week. So I adjusted and I got adapted to that. Sure, I had to minimalize my expenses a bit personally. But once I got past that part, I was living with less and making more. And I became very excited by that feeling. This is also part of doomsday preparation, right? because I can do with very little now from this experience. And my profit margin, cost to price ratio is astronomical, right? So when they hit me back up, I'm like, well, I'm good now, guys. Like, I got it now. Thanks for everything. You know what I'm saying? And I'll see y'all in a little bit when the payments start. And as a matter of fact, I started making payments on my loan and everything, right? So I'm like, I'm good. All right. Y'all fucked up the paperwork. All right. So it is what it is. So they kept coming back like, yo, but everything's good now. I'm telling you, I promise you, everything is good, and we can do it this way. We could do it that way. We could do it this way. We could do it that way. So I'm like, I only got but so much time left to go to get my next degree, right? So I'm like, all right, I'll do it. So then I get back in, and now it's like all of a sudden, all of these work opportunities are coming. There's so many deals on the table. There's so many ways to make money now that weren't necessarily there before. Like, I was just content making money for my own personal business. But now it's like I'm getting offers from all types of independent contracting is pretty much what I'm saying. And, I'm also getting these offers from potential employees and stuff like that as well. And I'm just like, but I can't do the small talk. I just can't do it. Like, I got to set up a structure that is like, talk to the computer, make the purchase, like transactional theory versus transformational theory. Like, I like both of them. But transactional theory is more impactful because it actually is, all right, just buy it. You know what I mean? Or just click on this link, click on that link, click on that link. And once I get that confirmation email, maybe we could talk then. You know what I'm saying? But apart from that, like, leave me alone. And it's challenging. It's challenging because I do like transformational theory too, because I do like to get to know people, especially the ones that I'm working with. I do like to hear their thoughts, hear their ideas as well, to see if they line up with mine. You know what I'm saying? This is even to the point where I'm like, my hiring process, I'm on some Japan shit. Like, I want to see your natal chart before I hire you, or I at least want to know your zodiac sign and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to know if you're qualified spiritually. Don't come in here wasting my time. Like, I just had 2-3 conversations, totally wasted time. No, it's not. Let me rephrase that. It wasn't totally wasted time. It was redundant time spent. Time speaking about stuff that we've already discussed, ideas that we've already formulated that the other party has not taken action on. I can't trust them. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I believe Steve Jobs developed that type of social network, because he just couldn't trust these people. When people say they're going to do something, like the power of word is very powerful. When people say they're going to do something and then they don't do it, you can't trust them. To further extend on that, when people say they're going to do something and they don't do it, and they don't follow up to confirm that they're not going to do it, you just can't trust them. You just can't. And these could be people that you care about, but you just can't trust them. Right? And it's like, you may be throwing away one of your greatest talents by telling yourself, I just can't trust this person. So what do? You leave the door open just in case this person finally gets it later on down the line and says, okay, I'll do it now. But at this point, you're not going to be able to tell me you can do it now. You're going to have to, now you got to go to the website. Now you got to click on the link, click on that link, click on that link, which is going to bring you to that link, and then buy. And it might be me responding to the email, or you might just get a link saying to fax this in, fax that in, you know what I mean? And you'll finally get to see me or talk to me when the time comes, if that even comes. Because overall, what I'm saying here is, it seems like nobody needs nobody anymore. And I thought that's what business and service and everything was about in general, was, you need this, you need that type of service, type of interaction in life to have to add on to the value of life. You know what I mean? It's just like, where would we be without the vehicle, without the wheel, right? Sure, we'd manage, but it sure is great to go across town and visit someone that you ordinarily it would have took 3-4 hours walking there to do, right? Like, you would have to set up a tent on your way or whatever the case may be, right? So those things sure are nice. And these are things that we focus on as men to develop. As men, we develop structures and stuff like that. Like, I don't know women for that. You know what I'm saying? What I know women for is like doing their best to tell children what to do and how to do it. And that doesn't always work so well. As a matter of fact, the results from that, and because I'm emphasizing women, so I'm basically emphasizing single parent homes and saying, like, if you really want to look at the results from that, these kids out here are crazier than I was when I grew up. I'm not going to say crazier. They have more chips on their shoulders than we did. They're more, like, at least we saw our parents messed up when they were messed up, or for those of us who had parents that would experience that type of stuff. But these kids, they take it much more differently. You know, they at least what's being reported is just, when I hear this stuff, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of, you know, because I'm in my 30s, I'm going on 40, right? So, you know, from our generation, the fathers, even though they were pushed out of the household as well due to government relief and stuff like that, right? The matriarch system. We grew up in the matriarch system. You know what I'm saying? But our generation, our fathers would always try to, like, come back some type of way. Like, you know, here I am. I don't care how random it was or how less in compared to how much it was. There was always this try to get back in. But part of it would be because of the matriarch system. Like, they just didn't have the resources to make it on their own. They didn't have any dominant patriarch to join, no groups or clubs or organizations to join other than sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? And when that chews you up and spits you out, all you got left, or all you turn to think about, is your family, is your kids, is your girl, or your old girl at that point, right? And she's, you know, Mom Duke, she's like, you can't come back in here, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Not around my kids and everything. And she's doing her best to, like, be this shield and protector of the children. But when we grew up, that shit ain't do no good for us. Well, let me speak for myself. You know what I'm saying? Let me speak for myself. But that type of attitude, I don't see how that raises men to be anything but products of the matriarch and servants of the matriarch. That's why you can see these young men, they're like, oh, I'm going to get my mama a house. I'm going to get my mama out the hood. I'm going to get my mama this car. I'm going to get my mama this. I'm going to get my mama that. You her man? Like, explain this to me. You know what I'm saying? You mama's man? Oh, wait. Oh, and she get to have guys come over your house. She might get government relief for these kids. Oh, and she can have boyfriends. And you out there doing whatever under the sun to get your moms out of the hood, to get her house, to get her. And you can't tell these kids nothing, even if you're their uncles or you're their father. They're like, you wasn't there. You know, you didn't do it. You didn't get us out of here. You didn't. And it's just like, dude, you don't even understand what's going on. And you're not even open to understanding it. And probably couldn't handle it if they did. Because it's I'd say it's a wicked game. Like, I'm smirking, I'm smiling because there's a sadistic part of me that enjoys seeing the crumbling of the Force, if you will. I like to say the Force in, like, Star Wars, because it's like, oh, you're supposed to do good, do. And then when you see doing too much spirals out of control, and it's just like all of this chaos and disorder now, like, I find gratitude in that. I find gratitude in seeing everything that was forced on me crumble, because I knew it wasn't true as a child. I was very intuitive as a child, and I was making my own ways and my own ideologies and philosophy as a child. And I just wasn't buying what everybody was trying to feed me. And it's like, nah, it don't sound right. I don't look right. I knew my place, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just like, my attitude is, I can't wait till I get older. I'm gonna show y'all. And now look, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just seen something on the news. Yeah, well, I'm going into random thoughts. Y'all gotta deal with me right now, because I'm telling you, this Virgo season is strong for me. I'm a Virgo ascendant. I'm a Virgo moon, and you know, Virgo energy is very strong right now, because I'm telling you, Virgo is the perfectionist. Virgo is the server. So what doesn't need to be should be eliminated. So again, I'm a sadist at that point. I'm laughing at what doesn't work, that people swore work. So look, I'm looking at something right now, and this shouldn't be so funny, but it's just like, man, like, this is what I'm saying. Sometimes you can't talk to everybody, because if somebody really knew, like, all right, they saying that this is what I'm hearing, that they're building mental institutions now for the crazy people, right? But look, I went through the whole entire system of New York, ranging from public assistance to fucking homelessness, the shelters, the whole entire system while in college. And I know that shit in and out, right? So this is why I'm laughing at the force, the light workers, I guess you could call them. Well, this is what I call light workers, the force. And like, do, follow the structure. So I'm very in the middle when it comes to patriarch, matriarch, right? So I'm experiencing all of these bureaucrats, which is the rut of the system, doing what they do, right? I don't care. I can talk like this because I face these people one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? I know true government officials in comparison to bureaucrats. There's a huge difference. So I'm watching all of these bureaucrats do what they, swear that they're geniuses at, right? And during this process, like, you could not get into certain programs, or you could not get afforded certain subsidies unless you were crazy. Let me repeat this. And I was there firsthand. I experienced it firsthand. So y'all know I'll be on my undercover private investigation shit, right? It's the name of my company, and come to find out, like, I'm doing private investigative work. Like, that's not what I intended it to be, but I guess you got to be more careful when you make titles for your company, right? So, but it's all good, because I love investigation, I love research and everything. So it all makes sense now. But so we're going through the motions or whatever, and it's just like, I experienced something with a government official, a bureaucrat. Let me rephrase that. A bureaucrat in the system that I was in, and they was like, well, they're crazy. Like, they even had a meeting to validate, to like all agree on me being crazy, right? So they mandate me to go see a shrink. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? I'm just being me, and y'all are saying that I'm crazy because y'all don't like me. You know what I'm saying? So, but I go anyway, because I know I can't get what I'm supposed to get until I do this. I didn't know that at first, but when I found that out, I was like, oh, these motherfuckers think they slick, because this is like a quota. It's like a kickback quota. The more people you send over to these government institutions so they can get checked out, validated, get paperwork and stuff like everybody is lining each other's pockets in this process, right? This happened during the Obama administration as well. You could read my book, Mystical Adventures of Dickie Buns, to get in-depth detail about what I'm talking about now. So, which will be re-released soon. So I'm going through this shit. I go to see the shrink and everything, and they try to automatically, put me on medication, do what they do, put me on the drugs, right? You got to understand, when you're dealing with government, this is where they want you. Let me rephrase that again. When you're dealing with bureaucrats, this is where they want you. Going to their programs, taking their drugs. When you get your housing subsidy, because that's like the golden egg. You know what I'm saying? Once you get your housing subsidy, it's like, okay, now we got on record, we got a mentally troubled individual who took our program, took the drugs that was given to him from the program, might have to even continue doing it, but if not, okay, at least they're housed over here. It's like colonization. They're housed over here where there is no elite existing, right? no middle class existing. It's just all people who are being subsidized and being helped by the bureaucrats. But what they don't expect, or what they didn't expect. So my point there is, right, is like, you already got the projects. Like, that is government relief. That's 12th house stuff. People don't even understand that. But if you go outside and you look at the projects, like, there's numbers on the building. I don't know if y'all ever been up north before in prison and stuff like that, but the projects look like tall prisons. That's all the projects is. But it's part of the 12th house logic. It's part of government relief. But that's also where people with mental conditions, people in mental institutions, or people that are in charitable organizations, right? So even if people just weren't crazy, they just didn't want to tap into the economy like that, like the force suggests you do. So they'll just go over to this area, colonized off over here in the projects where, people who are rich donate to house those people. You know what I'm saying? Out of care and concern, out of being a good Samaritan. But what you have here in the projects and in the hood and in these areas are a mixture of people who are already deemed crazy. Like, they're already deemed. I just seen 2 people yesterday. This is not to put them down again. I just told you, they sent me too. They called me crazy too, right? But I just seen, like, they're walking around here like they're all mixed in to this whole government relief community, I guess you can even call it, right? This is even mixed in with people who are working class people who don't have any of the stuff that I just spoken about. Those people reside here too, because at the same time they want their cake and they want to eat it too. At the same time, they say, the projects is good enough for working class people to be here, even middle class. Yeah, you can stay here, So they don't care. You got the money, you can stay here too. Like, if you could come in here and get an application and get an apartment in here, 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? So they don't care that this crazy. Do you think on the application they say, beware, there are crazy people here, legally legitimized, documented crazy people who live here? Do you think that's on the brochure? No. But my point is, they're talking about building mental institutions. You already got them. You are like that. They already spent buku program money, taxpayer money, on calling these people crazy, myself included, on housing these people, myself included. And now y'all want to take more taxpayer money or more program money or more subsidy money and build institutions? Like, how much crazier do they have to get? Or what are you going to do now? You're going to pull them out of the project? You're going to pull them out of the Section 8 apartments? You're going to pull them out of wherever they reside at now and put them in a new building? Like, it's just so wasteful. Are you going to check up on it? But see, this is what they didn't expect. And this is why I'm such a rare breed. This is what they didn't expect, right? They didn't expect someone to go through college and go through that too. They didn't expect someone to go through that whole "you're crazy" ordeal and come out with their own business. Not only that, they didn't expect that business to do well. Right? Most businesses go out of business. And if you're not like supported by some venture capitalists in California somewhere these days, or like funded by the rap game industry moguls, then you're like nobody in America, right? Right or wrong though. I know it sounds funny, but right or wrong, right? That's what the perception is. But that goes to show you how, I wouldn't say that shit is necessarily rolling uphill, but the transfer of wealth is occurring. And the unpredictability and uncertainty of times right now is helping that and assisting that so much to where you could be up today and be finished tomorrow. And it's occurring. It's happening. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, even though I wasn't funded by venture capitalists, I do have some external stakeholders. I do have progress in my business, despite how little or how gradual it is. So they didn't expect that. So my point now is, what do you do when you try to, let's say martial law takes place, right? And they come and they like bust down everybody's doors and they're sorting through documents, government documents. And they're like, okay, yeah, we're looking for this person because they're legally crazy and we got to take them to the mental institution now. So if you're able to see a lawyer, which you should be able to see a lawyer, then you go. And your argument is like, dude, I got a PhD. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, hold on, wait. So you're saying, okay, wait. My lawyer will tear this apart. Like, oh, so you're trying to tell me that my client, your American citizen, can go to your accredited institution, your accredited educational scholastic institution, obtain the highest degree there, and be called crazy, incapable, and disabled at the same time? Someone made a mistake here. Someone's made a mistake, and in the overall scheme of things, it's you. The government, the United States of America, for example. I'm just trying to like be theatrical right now, right? But when you think about it, it's true. So it's just like when I was sent there for being crazy, it was like the senior psychiatrist came out and said, so you have your own business? I was like, yeah. He was like, come back next week and bring me the paperwork. She said, you got a master's in business? I said, yeah. She almost cried. She's African American, this woman, the psychiatrist that I'm talking about. She almost cried when I told her that. And she was like, can you please bring it in? Can you please bring it in to me so I can see it? I was like, sure, no problem. So I brought all my paperwork back the next time, or whatever the case may be. She reviewed the case. So she was like, she reviewed the incident. She was like, okay, so you screamed at the lady at the place because she wanted you to do X, Y, Z, and you told her, like, I just told her, like, yo, I'm taking care of my business right now. Like, I'm doing business right now. You taking me out of that to come have some meeting with y'all, that helps y'all business. So y'all could get my signature signed off on taking y'all little bureaucrat class and sending it to your authority figures. Like, fuck y'all. I'm here to take care of me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all programs ain't even skilled enough to take care. Like, I'm in college, bitch. Like, what don't y'all understand around here? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you hear it in my voice, right? But that's how I went at her. Like, I don't care if you're a bureaucrat. Like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Don't come at me like that. I'm taking care of my business. I was doomsday prepping then, right? So she was like, I understand if you have your own business, it's not so simple as it is taking directions and orders from someone who affords you a job. And I was like, exactly, that's what I meant. You know what I'm saying? It's like, even if I got to talk to an employee, sometimes I got to get irate because, I had to tell him to do something more than once, or, we're just not clicking, seeing eye to eye or something. So she was like, nah, yeah, I understand that. So she was like, well, how are you sleeping? I'm like, my sleep not good. You know what I'm saying? I was in the shelter at the time. Like, my sleep pattern not good, or whatever the case may be. She's like, yeah, I understand that too. How are you eating? I'm like, well, I live in a desert region because the shelter is right around a desert region. It's nothing but Yemen grocery stores. You know what I'm saying? So it's either a couple of noodles, a Monster drink, or a coffee, a butter roll, and, potato chips, colorful, shiny potato chip bags. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, that's all there is to eat. Or you eat their food, and it's just like, yeah, okay, right. So she was like, all right, change your diet, get some sleep, and that's what I'm prescribing you. I'm not prescribing you no drugs. I'm taking that off. I'm scratching that off. You know what I'm saying? So this is real psychology work, psychiatrist work. I got a long page report. I still got the paperwork. It says, this guy is not crazy. He seems very articulate. He seems very content in his composure. He's not high. You know what I'm saying? Like, but these motherfuckers lie on you, or take any type of expression that shows your personal identity and take that as being offended by it, and that their authority, so they have to like punish you for doing so. And now all of a sudden you're crazy. Like, no, you're just wasting these people resources so you can have a fucking job, bitch. This is even more the reason why I'm MGTOW. You gotta understand. You know what I'm saying? So, because a lot of these governmental jobs that I'm talking about, these bureaucrat jobs, are given to women. And I've been there firsthand. I'm not just judging this from some standpoint that says, oh, I've been burned by a woman before, so I hate all women. Nah. Like, I've been there, and I've seen these women suck their teeth, twirl their weaves, snap their gum, and be like, well, you need to do this, and you need to do that, and you need to do... I'm like, no, you need to do that because you get paid a check over here. But you really work for me. You're here to service the people who are looking for relief. And I'm a graduate. Like, I can't, you sending me to go get these jobs on the corner and stuff like that. Like, they won't even hire me once I show them my resume. They're not hiring me because I'm overqualified. Like, I could take your job, but I'm probably overqualified for that too. So, when I talk back to them like that, they don't like that. You know what I'm saying? And my whole thing is, oh, you don't like that? Well, you need to watch the way you talk to me. Because just because I come through this door, you don't really know who I am. You just think I'm another person that doesn't know how to get money, or doesn't have money, or doesn't adapt the lifestyle that is perpetuated by American society and advertising. You know what I'm saying? Like, I lived on my own all the time when I was in the streets. I always had money, always. But of course you knew what I was doing, right? I'm not going to go into detail about what I was doing, but that's what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? But again, perception, right? I said in the beginning, the lack of understanding, people have different perceptions, and with that being their truth, it's what gives them self-validation. And the only reason why I also said this in the woman's post from the beginning of the video, the only reason why we discuss this openly with each other, and it seems like a debate all the time or some type of competition, is for entertainment purposes only. I'm telling you, because we're bored and we need to be entertained, and people entertain each other. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I said my second answer is I don't know. So, you know what I mean? That's as honest as I can get. But I think the reason why we're doing is to keep ourselves entertained, to keep ourselves upright in our self-validation of what we believe. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, like, I'm a sadist in the fact that I love to see what I don't agree with crumble. Because to me, I think, oh, well, I'm fucking right. See, I told you I'm right. Like, I don't even got to debate. I'm like, look at me, I'm right. It's kind of like Alyssa Shahan's Pluto video that I watched. PSA on Pluto. It's just like, I don't even got to participate in your shit crumbling. Like, it's happening without me even doing anything, without me even saying anything. You know what I'm saying? But back to the women part of it, right? It's like, you gotta let these women go, man. Like, I'm telling myself, like, I gotta let these women go, and I'm torn because of the type of industry that I'm in. Like, I work with them, right? But there's definitely distinctions in women now. You can really see how women are different now, and no matter how much they unite as a gender, they too are going to be separated by this, by the differences that they possess. You know what I'm saying? So I'm telling men out there, like, listen, if y'all are out there being generous as the Leo archetype suggests, great luck with that. I wouldn't recommend that, though. Y'all out there giving these chicks money and everything, because these types of guys messed up the game in the beginning anyway. You know what I'm saying? When the ability to get money came so fast, guys just couldn't wait to go do stuff for girls that they naturally wouldn't be able to do. And that became a habit, that became repetitious, and now that's where we're at now. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, okay, I know how to get in and benefit from that type of business, but now, like, girls will come on my inbox and try to entertain me. Like, I don't want to be entertained, ma. Like, I'm in the business of providing entertainment for the guys who want to buy it. You know what I'm saying? But you don't need to be entertaining me unless I tell you to. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's part of the directive or that's part of the order, part of the structure, then so be it. But I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? I'm so serious. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna strike a deal, we're gonna strike a deal. But some of these ladies, they're trying to add the attitude component inside of the deal so they can have some type of leverage over men, right? Because that's what's found in couples. As long as there's this opportunity for there to be some heightened, intense type of quarrel or debate going on, women thrive off of that because it's chaotic and it's off-putting to man's structure, right? So it kind of gives into her matriarch. Okay, well, you need me for some type of energy, for something, right? You're going to complain. You're going to get mad at me about something. And then you're forced to talk to me or deal with me on a level where I thrive and I rule at, which is chaos. When you remove that, they have no alternative but to be obedient and fall in the lines of structure. And it's like they can grab their tits and their pretty face and their nice asses and they could walk right away from you and say, well, a million men want this. So I don't know what the fuck you over here playing games for. Like you got it like that. And you know what? I got to actually be the guy that says, well, I do got it like that. And potentially lose some of the hottest talent that I've come across. But it's like, yo, I'd rather do that and sit on my money and not take the gamble of going on a woman just saying, playing her game, this is totally female. It's attributed to y'all, ladies. This is the shit y'all do. This is the shit y'all play with. To put expenditures on that with no validation, no confirmation that this is even going to be profitable. I'm not doing this for entertainment purposes, for me to be entertained. I got better, I can do so much better shit. I'm telling you, I'm doomsday prepping. I'm making it so I can get out of here if it comes down to it. Because this is another part of this that takes place, right? I'm having these international experiences that result into better deals and interactions than the local ones are. And then the more that the local, because remember, I told you, when you're dealing with governments and you're dealing with external stakeholders and stuff like that in your nation, you're almost obligated to deal with them when it comes to the workforce. But it's like when you look around and you see nothing but fucking zombies and idiots, you can't subject yourself to that because those are the closest human capitals to you. So again, sit on your money. And they be like, oh no, the wolves are going to want to eat. Well, I'm a wolf too. So you talking to the wrong person when it comes to that. But like I said, with the whole patriarch thing, they'll exploit the less competent for their workforces and segregate them and colonize them to keep things sectioned off and organized. But me, I don't care, man. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because I could be in either spot. I could be where the elite are. I can be where the wolves are. And I'm going to tell a wolf the same thing he's telling me. He need to eat. Well, I need to eat too. Oh, but you got money. I got money for me. You want to know where the money at? I'll tell you where the money at. You a wolf. You better go get it like I got it. It's like these cowards that got money and they send like shooters and stuff like that, or the people after their competition. Like, do it yourself, bro. Because if you send a wolf my way, I'm gonna give him the tools to be a better wolf. I'm gonna convince him that you a coward for sending him. I'm gonna be like, how you working for dude? Like, he's pussy. Like, think about it. He called you. He sent you. Oh, but he gonna make my life better with this bag. Oh, you think that's a bag? I'll show you where a bag is, and I'll put it to you even more like this. What do you think he gonna do after your mission? Let's say you complete a mission for him in regards to what we're talking about here. What you think is gonna happen after that? You think he ain't gonna get rid of you in some type of way, whether it's by jail or by sending another wolf for you to clean up the traces? You should watch more movies, bro. But that's how that shit be going, because these niggas is cowards. Pardon my language with the whole nigga, but I'm in my bag right now. But this is how these cowards operate. This is how they maneuver. You know what I'm saying? And my point being is this: you soften yourself, you dilute yourself as a man when you play in the realms of the matriarch. As a man, you should be and I'm not saying you gotta be a rapist. However, you should seek to be patriarchal. Because just like I said, these girls are talking about, oh yeah, night out with the girls. They holding hands all across America, but women been good at doing stuff like that. They're better at congregating than men are. But they've been better at congregating for chaos, to invite chaos at that. It's just like, oh yeah, we're having mad fun over here. Look at us on the beach, almost naked. You know you want to be here right now. And it's like, go ahead, boy. You ain't going to be patriarchal. You're going to be subject to the matriarch. The more you do that, the more you subject to the matriarch. Next thing you know, you're going to be trying to move in with a chick. You're going to be calling from her house. Yo, bro, I'm at Shorty house. You live there now, boy? Yeah, I'm moving. Oh, you a matriarch. You part of the matriarch. You're her baby. You're her baby now. You're her baby. I think that way about any man that moved in with their girl. You can call it judgmental. I get it. I know. You call it hypercritical. I know. But I've been there too. I was just a baby boy. Right? They'll put you on their budget. These chicks. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, a man should seek to be part of the patriarch. I don't care how long it's going to take. I don't care how many new people you got to meet to get there. I don't care how much more education you got to do to get there. I don't care how much more work you got to do to be put there. You should not be subject to any woman to tell you what to do, how to do it, or else. It just doesn't work like that. So that increases the impact of the divide of this whole gender thing, because it's happening no matter what. I mean, just think about this, dude. Like, you might even be okay with a woman having sex with another woman to get an ultimate experience, a better orgasm, or more desired orgasm, and then just come sleep with you for some money because they need some money real quick, and they know you get down like that. And you might do it in a way that doesn't seem like you're paying for the pussy. She might be like, oh no, because I'm struggling right now a bit, I fell behind the rent, and it's just hard right now, and it's just like, oh, don't worry about it. When you come see me, I'm gonna take care of that. Don't even worry about it. Still paying for the pussy though, you know what I'm saying? And whatever floats your boat, if you like it, I love it, you know what I'm saying? But don't try to fit in the patriarch circle. Don't let me find out about it and you try to sit with the fucking cool club, man. Because you're not. You're part of the matriarch. You might as well go over there with them. Shout out to the MGTOW men. I know it's a challenge. I'm out.